welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Today I'm chatting to Neil Rocke at the Commons Collective in Ormond Hall, a beautiful art deco complex with various venues like the Moubray Bar, Rose Garden, Conservatory, chapel and more. I actually felt as though I'd stepped back in time in the hall, which has the most beautiful wooden panelling and paintings of The Hunt and an intriguing collection of old leather boxing gloves, plus Christmas wreaths and stars and fairy lights, so a sort of ye olde English pub at Christmas time. I wanted to be in that world and I didn't want to leave. Neil met me there and took me through a complex labyrinth of passages. It was a sort of situation where you wish you had some kind of breadcrumbs to drop along the way so you can find your way back, but I took in all the various spaces and the loveliness of the building, and we eventually ended up in the office. Now, this is the kind of office I see myself in. There was a bar at one end, but that wasn't even the best bit. There was a chandelier made of antlers, walls covered in art, and big, old, comfy leather couches. I loved all that with an ardour far exceeding moderation, but I loved more the conversation I had with Neil. Neil is the epitome of hospitality. He's mainly worked in catering across his career, and he's all about the people, both staff and guests. He's all about the food and giving people a good time. When Neil talks about what he does, his eyes sparkle. The Commons Collective is doing some pretty fun stuff over the winter months. There's Christmas in July, Yum Cha, Cabaret Thursdays, weekend roasts. And with Neil in charge of the food and the ambiance of that magical place, you know you're going to be in for an excellent time. Now, I started recording when I was being all awestruck in the hall, so do come with me as I sort of breathlessly follow Neil through the back passages and up to the office. Nothing like that handheld recording feel, is there? Hi Neil, I'm Jo. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
They organised you a coffee, are they?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful. Just saying how beautiful it is. What a great place to have Christmas in July.
Yeah, come up really well.
Yeah.
The beer garden and Rose Garden in spring, summer.
Oh, I bet.
Really good.
Yeah.
And even next door too.
Yeah, it's like a hidden gem in here. I was saying I think maybe I might have come here when it was something else.
So yeah, it used to be the Belgian beer garden.
Yes.
So I mean, this is our.
Oh wow.
So we have cabaret here on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Another little Eastern bar there. So there's little hidden places everywhere.
That's right. So are there 9 different
Pretty much.
spots,
Yeah.
spaces?
Yeah, conservatory out the front that's under the.
Thank you. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Bruce, and you go have
Thank you. Wow, what a lovely cup.
No,
of it.
I won't. Thank you. We're going to go upstairs. We just need office space, don't we? Have a chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, this goes nicely. It's as a nice this Christmas in July. Then we'll do the Sunday roast thing for the winter.
Oh, it really feels like an English pub, doesn't
That's
it?
what 1920s English pub was what he was after.
I love it.
And it's much warmer in the winter time inside, and then obviously during summer and spring. Outside.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It goes.
Well, my in-laws would love this. I'll have to get them to come.
Take you to the back way. Just storage and storage. We've actually another little area out here you might want to see. It's a little courtyard.
Oh wow. Beautiful.
And we have a chapel in here.
Goodness, okay.
Which in 2 months' time, it's locked, is it? Yeah, it's locked.
Maybe I came to a wine tasting here as well. This is all
Maybe.
feeling very familiar.
Maybe. So it's a beautiful little space in there. Which in 2 months' time, my son's getting married in. So
Oh, how nice.
yeah,
Wow.
should be cool.
So you oversee all of the food for here?
For the here and the rest of the business.
Yeah, gosh.
So we do major events, just watch your steps here.
Um,
So a lot of major event work. This is our retail arm. Then we have our venues which we do our weddings in. which is Luminaire in South Melbourne,
Yes.
and the Glass House.
I've seen lots of beautiful photos of the glass house with weddings and things.
Yeah, it's a great venue.
Thank you.
And we're straight ahead. This is just our office space up here.
It's a very grand light for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce.
Wow.
Fridays are pretty quiet in the office. People work from home, so
I'd happily have an office like this.
grab a seat wherever you like.
Thank you.
I'll get rid of that pad for you.
So thank you, Neil, for
worries.
for chatting to me, for taking me all through there. That was lovely. I'm really interested. I'm interested in your journey, but I'm also interested in, obviously, the Commons Collective and what's happening here at the moment, because there seems to be a lot happening. And when I was reading about the 9 different venues and all the different things that were happening over this next period of time, it sounds amazing. So can you just maybe run me through the Cabaret Christmas in July?
Yeah, very exciting time of the year. We've got our winter collection happening, so our menu changes every season. So it's a winter menu at the moment, just for the common basic, which is warm English pub style to match the bar downstairs that you've seen. Hearty dishes, lamb, barley broth, and shepherd's pies, and soup. They've got the staples that we always do there as well. There's a burger, there's a chicken schnitzel, we just give us a chance to do some new stuff for every season. So that's our standard. We've also brought in the Christmas in July, which is going at the moment. So we just tweaked the menus to bring in the ham and turkey feel, the pea soup, anything a little bit Christmassy, a croquette with turkey in it, just a little bit of flavour. We've got a couple of desserts which are going, as a little snowman meringue in a glass, like a little snow cone that's snow bulb. Sorry, it's going quite well at the moment as well. So we get a lot of photos on that one. We have a yum cha coming up in 8 days' time. So we're doing a yum cha over 4 weekends, Saturday and Sunday yum chas. Do a lot of bottomless brunches.
And so is the yum cha happening downstairs as well?
Yep, we'll do. Okay. Wow. We'll do that for.
And if I saw with a name. So is that a chef? One of the chefs doing that?
No, that's an alcohol, a Chinese alcohol that we're basing the cocktail. No, that's right, and we're basing the cocktails we're making from there.
Okay, so what is that?
It's a Chinese spirit that they use. I can't say the name properly, so I'm not even going to try and do it. And so they've come to us and we've designed some wintry and Christmassy sort of cocktails, as well as some Asian influenced cocktails. And we just thought we'd do a bit of a yum cha thing.
That's cool. What a great idea.
So they don't never rest on their laurels here. They're always trying to do new things.
I can see, yes, on the screen that it's it's that kind of. I was going to ask you about that. So there's a lot of encouragement. Well, you're how do you even say that? Hospitalitarians extraordinaire.
Correct.
I love it.
Yeah.
We think differently. Okay, so it's always
We try and think outside the square in a lot of ways, but it's always about making the customer happy.
Yeah.
Always about making the customer happy.
How long have you been with the big group?
It's a big group. I've been with them just on 18 months.
Yep.
They were my number one opposition for 20 years. So I worked for another big catering company called Peter Rowland Catering.
Yep.
I was their group executive chef for 15 years. And then changed and did a few things, and COVID hit. So, and this sort of came up. In between, I did some charity stuff with Fair Share, just while I was waiting.
Oh.
Yeah, which was just waiting. They were good to me. It was a bit of work. It got me out the house.
I love Fair Share. I used to volunteer for Fair Share on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, cricket and the team are great.
Yeah.
So, and this came up. So, it was what I had done before, but the creative element that this company has was something I hadn't had before, and that really excited me.
Yeah.
And yes, in the last 18 months, some of the functions were done are amazing.
Because I was going to ask you, this is a question that's come up, and I think I mentioned this in the email to Madeline, that I wanted to talk about sustainability of chefs rather than just of food, and how do you keep going, because without being offensive, it feels like you might have been in the industry for a while.
I have.
And I'm kind of interested because you've done a lot of catering, but did you start off in catering?
No, so I started cooking in 85, which is a long time ago. Did my apprenticeship at the airlines, and back then it was an airline called TAA, which later became Australian Airlines, which is now Qantas, but that was a domestic arm. And we catered in Melbourne, and did every international flight that came out of Melbourne would be catered from in that large kitchen with 70 chefs in it. And back then, it was about first class and business class. It was you flew, you got the service. So I did 4-year apprenticeship there and learned to do big cooking, batch cooking, bulk cooking, as well as the intricate stuff. And we were flying gorgonzola in from Italy. We were flying the smoked salmon would come in from Scotland. The chocolates would get flown in from Belgium.
Wow.
So it was all that sort of produce I got to play with, but it was in big numbers, and that sort of excited me. I did that, and I thought I better learn a bit of the restaurant scene. So I did a stint at a little restaurant in the city called Dom's, which was Italian. It was pretty popular at the time, Mediterranean field, but mainly Italian and pasta. All the footballers used to get there, and sort of that became a place. And then I thought I'd better get some hotel experience, so I did that, a little Travelodge airport Travelodge at Tullamarine, which I think is still there. Did that, but that was during the pilot strike, which was a long time back, and that became one of the busiest hotels in Melbourne because all the delayed flights used to just get offloaded in there. Mm-hmm. So you'd have no one in there, and all of a sudden 120 delayed passengers would come in, and we'd have to start cooking for them. So that was the experience. From there, I went and worked for a big catering company and looked after a couple of Air Force bases just to learn how to manage people and manage food costs and do that sort of stuff. From there, Flemington Racecourse. I became the exec sous at Flemington Racecourse under Peter Rowland Catering, and that was the experience doing all the Melbourne Cups and all the racing.
I'm always just thinking about the number and the number of people, the volume of food that goes through that, and each dish has to be consistent. That's a big thing, and it's all coming out at the same time rather than perhaps in a restaurant where it's a bit more staggered. So that's
consistency is the perfect word to use.
Yeah,
it's something I've always tried to do, is be consistent, consistently good or consistently very good, but consistent, not having the low periods and not taking the shortcuts, but being there. And with catering, it was like trying to bring restaurant quality that you had the time to do to the big numbers, and working on the background, how to do that.
Is that a thrill or is it anxiety inducing?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. I mean, I still get goosebumps, or not goosebumps, but I still look for appreciation and comment from when I cook for my family at home over the night time. It still gives me a buzz, getting people to enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, that's why I'm still in catering. But also the young ones coming through keep me excited. The new way, they're much more level than we were back in my day. Yeah. They don't take the rubbish that we. No, I didn't have to take it, and I didn't take it because I was a big boy. But back then, there was a lot of bastardy happening in the kitchen, and you sort of put up with it. You'd hear about it. I was lucky enough I didn't have that experience. But these young ones these days, they just don't put up with any of that. They're just good at it. They're probably keener. Not keener, I couldn't say that. They're probably not as scared of trying new things as we would try that, but we were trained to try it, if you know what I mean.
Yes, and I think it does sound as though the environment earlier on, you didn't want to put a foot wrong, so it's harder to experiment and try things if you're afraid of making mistakes and being yelled at. So that's interesting.
And then from Flemington, I took over as a group exec, as I said, for Peter Rowland. Opened the Melbourne Museum in 2000 as the head chef there, which was a great venue to open.
Yeah.
And then opened a lot of venues since, done interstate openings and restaurants. Left Peter Rowland, opened a little place called King and Godfrey for the Valmorbida family.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was an experience. That was great. Yeah. That was probably one of my career highlights, of going to Italy for a couple of weeks and eating and drinking for 2 weeks. That was what my job was with the family. They took me over there, and that was really cool.
Yeah. That's incredible. So all around Italy, or
mainly the north, because that's what they were basing their food on. But I mean, we started off in Rome and then mainly the north. But it was just great, just trying every type of deli and restaurants and trying to get a feel for what it was. So that was opened that, and that was a buzz when it opened.
Yeah.
And then I took over head of food and beverage at the showgrounds. Did that for 12 months, and then COVID hit in, and then I'm here.
Yeah. Wow. It's good, and I like the way. I mean, it sounds to me like you're sort of the epitome of hospitality, because I'm listening to you talk about helping out with fair share and so on as well. For you, it is about the people as much as it is the food, and I love that. That's
it's getting big groups of people and walking and doing a function, and you've got the longest lunch or a big spring carnival or whatever, and you've got 50 or 60 back of house staff that you need to employ, from the kitchen hand, the runner, the commie chefs, the chefs in charge, and people looking after ovens, and so you do build up the relationships over the years, and you stay pretty tight.
And we talk a lot about well-being these days, and I was just talking to Michael Smith, who's at Hubert Estate, but also just overseeing the Prince Hotel. And in the past, when I've spoken to Dan Hunter at the Prince, he talked about how they've got things in place for well-being, so doing yoga together and maybe having smoothies at the end of the night rather than knock-off beers. What do you think about that? How do you see well-being in the industry?
It was probably COVID. It's probably helped a lot to stop and actually think about what we do and how we do it. I always tried to have a balance, and especially catering was great for me for having 3 young sons back in the day, and who are now all grown men. But be able to see them grow up, but more than I did the restaurant thing, and you are sort of chained to that restaurant from dusk till dawn, and go again. And not the catering's not like that when it's busy, but there is the spells. There's definitely trying to do a work-life balance. And the staff I've always worked with and worked for me is always know that family's first. So if someone comes in, the child's sick, or the wife's not feeling well, or the husband's not, whatever, and they need to go home, they go home. We just deal with, and that's always been a motto of mine, family first. They're better at looking after themselves now than what we did. And, you see the knock-off drinks that used to turn off into finding a pub and finishing off until and I do. Then there's also the escape to something to relax you. I fly fish. That's my escape. Probably twice a year. I definitely go once a year over to Tasmania, and I spend 8 or 9 days fly fishing on the Great Lake. There's no one else except for a few mates and my brother-in-law and friends. And then we'll go and we'll fish and maybe catch something, maybe not. But it's just it's a recharged battery, and
It's good. And because I wondered too, I'm a French teacher as well as a writer, and so we often are replaying things in our minds and thinking of, I think the teacher, we always say we never can never really relax from it. Is it like that for chefs? Are you constantly thinking about how you can do things better, or
every function you do, and you virtually high five yourself or the team after a good function, and when you've got one, and 90% of the time they're good. But when you get a really good one, it's like that great feeling. But you're always driving home from that function thinking, should I have done this better? If I twisted that, would that have worked better? That person needs a bit of help on whatever. They don't gel as a team, those two people, so we'll just know that for next time. So it's about the people and the food, and knowing that, or that particular dish worked really well. Keep that, make some twists on it for next season. But at the end of the day, it's what you want, but it's also what the client's expectations are. If they want a $20 Parmigiana, it's got to be the best $20 Parmigiana. Yes. If they want a $250, whatever it is, it's making their expectations.
And so I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Coming up with menus that fit the budget, and how much, we were talking about creativity before, how much say do you have in the menu and the creativeness of it? And I guess that's also squashed a bit by budget.
Yeah, correct. So you're looking at that. You're looking at the venue, and you're looking at okay, let's do Christmas in July. I could buy in whatever, or I can make whatever, but it's what the budget and what the client wants to pay. And we're lucky here at the big group. We've got some really big clients, so we've got the expectations to buy the best too. But then we've got the ones that will come down and they just want a bowl of soup and some bread. And so it's got to still be a good bowl of soup, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's still got to be the best bowl of soup we can make.
And I guess, you've got a repertoire of, a few years behind you of cooking, but in terms of ideas and inspiration, do you do you still look in books or on, I don't know,
Yeah.
Instagram? Or what
Yep,
do you...
everywhere. So, yeah, books. I was always a book person. I have to, and I'm still at home. All my books are around me. And, I'll Google like the best of them. I'll read what's going on. I share with the team as well. So, there's a head chef here that looks after the venue. There's a head chef for the whole, under me for the whole lot of it as well. There's a head chef for production. They've got their team, so I go to them and say, right, we're looking at spring summer menu. Any ideas? Bring to me. Anything you've seen? Any restaurants you've been to? And we'll share and say that one worked, or But again, it's giving the client what they want. And for a wedding, not unfortunately, but it's beef, chicken, lamb, fish, and a vegetarian option. Trying to keep the dietaries included into it. So it's and using the seasonal produce that's sort of on trend. It's a bit of Asian fusion, a bit of Mediterranean, a bit of Italian, a bit of Japanese, whatever, So trying to not trick it, but put that into it for flavours. It's trying to... I'm a big believer in using great produce, and I say I'm lucky enough, and I've always been lucky enough to be able to have the clients and buy that produce. So, but I don't trick it up too much. I let the produce talk for itself.
Yeah. Nice. Are you still on the pans? Because you're overseeing a lot of people, but you still...
Occasionally, yeah. No, sorry, not occasionally. So when we do, on a Thursday night here, we have the cabaret.
Yes.
And that's fun. And we have it's fun, but they all come in at the same time. So they've got to be, I think it's 10 or 8:15, they've got to walk in the door. They usually book their table for 7 o'clock, between 6:30 and 7. And at 7:15, 120 people come in with dockets. So on a Thursday night, that's what I call my penance, and I come in and I jump on the pans with the guys here.
What sort of food are they having at the cabaret?
So it's a pasta, so it's a beautiful tortellini with some pumpkin and ricotta. It's a burger, if they want to have the burger. It's the winter soup. It is the fish barramundi with Italian remoulade. It's a board, a couple of desserts. So it's quick, it's clean, and it's to get it up before they sit down for the cabaret, and then they may take a dessert and sit in there. So yeah, I do that every Thursday night. The cabaret's on for fun. It's a bit of fun for me. It's also great to be with the team here on the Thursday. Function-wise, if there's a big function, I'll be out there.
Yeah.
So weddings out in the countryside, if for the right ones, not all of them I can be at, but a lot of them I'll be at. We do tastings for all the venues for the wedding. So we do these group tastings. So anything up to 20 couples will come in on a night, and then we'll present a tasting of the meals, and I'll sit down with all the clients and have a guest with clients and have a chat with them and talk about their menu and stuff like that. So yeah, it's still definitely hands-on.
Nice, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
And I like you're talking and your eyes are really lighting up. So you're obviously still very enthusiastic about what you do. I love that. And what, thinking about winter warmers and so on, what for you, like personally, not cooking for anyone else, but you eating, what would be your ideal winter meal or experience?
Oh, okay. Experience. Probably a long time ago, nearly 30 years. We went for our honeymoon, we went around Europe, and my wife and I remember going to France, and I think it's probably in the western part of Paris. I can't exactly remember where, but there was a cafe, and I remember ordering a tagliatelle, and it had chanterelles and rabbit and cream and a glass of wine, and it was lunchtime.
Yep. And
it still sticks in my mind, that dish. It was just amazing. Mushrooms, rabbit, pasta.
Delicious. Yeah,
it was delicious. But then also, as being a young one, I think, and this is what got me probably into food and cooking, was my family. That I'm one of 8, so we would sit around the table, and there was like 2 groups. There was the young ones and the older brothers and sisters. I always thought, it just happened like that way. And so, as I was one of the younger little ones, they called us, and we would sit at the table with the older brothers and sisters and hear about their day when Mum cooked, and we all had dinner together. And that was what got me excited about family talking. But food was part of what was there. So, and I remember lamb shanks were an offcut, and Mum would make a lamb and barley broth. So that's something I put on here because it's just a great dish. Italian chef I worked with did me veal ossobuco, a few years back, a long time back actually. It was the first time I actually tried ossobuco, and it was like, wow, what's this? It was like in English stew and ossobuco, like yeah. So yeah, there's lots of, a corned beef, that once or twice a year, that perfect cold day that you do the corned beef, and the mashed potato and the onion sauce and the peas and carrots, and that's something special too.
Nice. And so just to finish off with, we did mention about the young ones coming through with their different mindset and so on, but what would your advice be to young people who are considering becoming chefs?
It's a passion, and a lot of the time when I sit down with them to talk about it, I'll try and talk them out of it, because if you haven't got it, it sticks out after a while and it just becomes a drudge. It's a beautiful industry if you need to immerse yourself out of it. It's into it from other areas. Like I'd say to the young ones, especially restaurants. When I was doing the restaurant thing, Friday night, Saturday night, you're busy. You're not going to see your friends. You're not going to go to your friends' 21st. You'll make new friends. You'll make friends with waiters and waitresses and kitchen people. But your older friends you'll sort of drift away a little bit from, because that's what happens in the industry. You've really still got to enjoy serving people, not being a servant, but serving people and giving them that expectation. My son's a chef, and I tried my hardest to talk him out of it, and he's actually very good. But it's hard to. I've had some older guys come through as an apprentices, and some young ones come through, and I'd sit with them, and I tell them all the worst things that could happen, and a couple of them have really gone really well. Like I've had one of my apprentices worked in Moubray, which was the third best restaurant in the world, and then the next one worked at Noma, which was the best restaurant in the world the year after. So we've still got to find the second best. But then I had two of them that got to third year of their apprenticeship back when it was 4 years, and left because it just wasn't right for them. And I sort of could tell them at the start, but it's hard. The money's not great. It's just you make a great lifestyle, but the money's, for a small percentage, is a good lifestyle. But there's I don't know how to explain it to them other than, if it's your passion and you think you can do it, and you'll have fun. But I still have fun and make sure that everyone around them has fun, and that's part of being the big group too. They too enjoy every time we have a function. It's an enjoyable event. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Neil Rocke from the Commons Collective. If you want to experience all the greatness for yourself, which of course you do, you can check out @_the Commons Collective, all one word, on Instagram. And I'd probably go to their website as well, because that's where they've got all of the events that are happening over winter. As for me, I'm also on Instagram @conversationwithachef. And if you want to read the chat, you can head to www.conversationwithachef.com. Do you know how much I would love it if you told a friend about my chats? So, a lot. And of course, you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.